Hello, welcome everyone to this special masterclass on the new competition. And the subtitle is How to Gain Freedom from the Prison of Comparison. I want to tell you, comparison is real. It's real. And some years ago, a colleague of mine, we went to medical school together. So she just finished an MPH. MPH means Masters of Public Health. So I was just congratulating her, reaching her. She lives in Canada. And I said, "Oh, congratulations on your graduation from public health." And her response really surprised me. And when she replied to me, she said, "Oh, public health that many people have finished many years back." And it just dawned on me that a lot of people are diminishing their own light by comparing themselves with others. And this is not right. You have your own race, you have your own story. So today is the part two of this the new competition. In case you were not here last month when I had the first session, the part one, you can go to my YouTube and look at the new competition and part one. You will see right there on my YouTube, Dr. Michael Koku YouTube, and it's free. You can easily access it and share with people. So, but today I want to really piggyback on where we started from last time, in case you were not here last time, or in case you have forgotten. So I'll be taking us up. I want to pick up from where we started the last time. And the reason why I'm doing this is very important. I'm doing this intentionally. I want to really take you from where we left up, and I want to move you to another height. So from last month, when we talk about the new competition, like I said, gaining freedom from the prison of comparison. And we started by reminding ourselves that the problem with comparison is that you always feel either better than someone else or worthless compared to someone else. And that's the problem of comparison. It is unfair, it is unequal. That's the problem of comparison. It make you feel better than someone else or make you worthless. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really, it is not healthy. Comparison is an unhealthy competition. And that's what I want to really emphasize today. So we mentioned that last time. So there's no point comparing yourself with others. So that is one thing that we talked about last time. So don't forget. So there's no point because you are in your own race. And last month, we mentioned the hidden cost of comparison. And I'm just doing this as a refresher from I just want to reflect on the first part that we did. So remember that last month, in case you are not here, we talk about the hidden cost. These are the things that comparison is costing you. And the first thing, and I use the acronym comparison. And the first thing that we mentioned last time is confidence is being destroyed. Confidence is being destroyed. Comparison destroy your confidence. These are the hidden costs that is not obvious initially, but become obvious eventually. It destroys confidence. Especially when you start scrolling, you see somebody that you went to high school together, somebody that you went to college together. It destroy your confidence, especially if that is what you do first thing first in the morning. You start comparing your own life, your own marriage with somebody else's marriage. You start comparing everything about you. Oh, you are single. Everybody has married except you. This is so important. I remember what somebody said. Mel Robbins, my wife just bought her book. She said one day she was scrolling her phone. Mel Robbins, she's a great motivational speaker. You can check her out. Very one of the top motivational speaker in the world. So one day she said she was scrolling her phone, and she now saw her friends. They were on vacation. And these friends, they were having a good time, having a fun time, taking pictures. She said she felt left out. She was alone in her house. And here, our friends, our close friends, they were having a fun time. She said she just came up with something, and that became a game changer for her. She said, let them. And that made her to write a book, Let Them Theory. Let them, let them. And that is one way to deal with comparison. Let them do whatever they want to do. Oh, your friend just released a new book. Let them. You can be inspired by others, but you don't have to be depressed with what is happening. So the first thing that comparison does to you, we mentioned it last time. You can go to that. I'm not going to go deep into it. Is confidence destroyed. So that's the first thing that comparison does. It destroys your confidence. It erodes your confidence. And the second thing is originality lost. Originality lost. That means it destroys your originality, your authenticity. It destroys it. The third thing is mental wellness is being damaged too. Someone that is, emotionally stable before, but because you start scrolling your phone, you start seeing highlights reel of others' success, others' vacation. And before you know it, you begin to be having an emotional meltdown. You become so annoying, you become so unfriendly, only because you just scroll your phone. Like I said, the social media has really amplified this crisis of comparison. Then another thing we mentioned last time is purpose abandon. Some people have abandoned their purpose because of comparison. Many people have abandoned their purpose. You have a God-given purpose that you have rightly embraced, but you now see somebody doing something, and according to your own estimation, they are doing so much better than you. You now begin to think that, oh, maybe you have embraced the wrong purpose. You now begin to abandon your purpose. A lot of people have abandoned their purpose, all because of comparison. So many people, if they have stayed with their purpose, their greatness will have been unlocked. But they abandon their purpose because of comparison. Because any purpose that God has given to you, it's not a microwave, it's a crock pot. It takes time. It takes time for your purpose, for your vision to speak. That's why my favorite book says the vision is for an appointed time. If you tarry, you too tarry. But a lot of people abandon their purpose. They go for the shiny object and they end up regretting it. Women that has abandoned their purpose, they know who they were supposed to marry, but because of comparison, because the person that God wants you to marry, you just saw that, oh, this person seems to still be struggling. You went for another person. And this is the hidden cost of comparison, purpose abandon. In fact, that one is really, really dear cause. It's a real dear stuff. We talked about that last time. I'm just going over it again. Another thing is appreciation diminished. Because comparison will not help you to appreciate how far you've come, the progress you have made. And that is a deadly cost. You begin to diminish, you begin to have little regard for the progress you have made. Another thing that comparison does that we talked about last month is relationship strained. So many relationships has been strained because of comparison. When you begin to compare your family or your marriage with other people, your relationship became so strained because the grass is always green at the other side. But listen to me, the grass is always green where you nurture it. Another thing we talked about is identity confused. Identity confused. There's so many confusion about people's identity, all in the name of comparison. Another thing that we talked about is satisfaction stolen. You will never be satisfied. That is the truth. Whenever you compare yourself with others, I want you to know this, you will never be satisfied. Because comparison will make you always feel never enough. Another thing we talk about is opportunities overlooked. Those that compare themselves with others, they always overlook their own opportunities. And the last thing that we talk about in this acronym for hidden cost of comparison is next level growth neglected. People that compare themselves with others, they always neglect the next level growth. The next step that they were supposed to take, they always neglect it. And so, and last time we began to talk about to compare yourself to others is to forget the uniqueness of your own journey. Please don't forget the uniqueness of your own journey. I want you to know that your journey is unique. This has nothing to do with your age. It doesn't matter how young or how number of years you have lived. What counts is your ability to be free. And the good news about this prison of comparison is you are the jailer and you are the prisoner. You can set yourself free. That's why we are having this masterclass. Like I told you, go back to the part 1 to listen to it very well on Dr. Michael Koku YouTube channel and see the part 1. I'm just giving a refresher to what we do because we're going to pick up from where we stopped. So in case you forgot, I'm just giving you a recap. I'm just taking you back into what we already did last month. So like I said, to compare yourself to others is to forget the uniqueness of your own journey. Jordan Peterson says, don't compare yourself to others. Compare yourself with the person you were yesterday. Listen, the old competition is broken. I want to encourage you, instead of comparing yourself to others, start embracing the new competition. What is the new competition? The new competition is comparing yourself with yourself. And how do you do that? That is what we're going to focus on today. You need to compare yourself to who you are yesterday. And that is the new competition. To become the best version of yourself. Many of us, we don't really focus on that. We are focusing on trying to catch up with the Joneses. In fact, there's a reality show that talks about catching up with the Kardashians. Can you see a lot of people, you want to be like others. It doesn't make sense. Someone said, be yourself. Everyone else is taken. Be yourself. You can become the best version of yourself. That is what the world is looking for. So last month, I gave you what we call the freedom pathway. I'm going to give it to you again because, like I said, we are picking up. I'm going over what we did the last time for the sake of people that are just joining us the first time and for the sake of people that even forgotten. So this is what we did last time that we talk about escaping the prison of comparison. So we focused on what we call the freedom pathway, that if you want to escape the prison of comparison, this is the freedom pathway, and we were able to unveil the freedom acronym. Like I said, I'm not going to go deep into this. This is a refresher. If you want to really go deep, go to my YouTube channel, Dr. Michael Koku, and listen to the first part. So this is what we talk about, the freedom pathway. We mentioned find your true identity. We talked about that deeply. Go and check the last content. Then reject toxic comparison. Embrace your unique journey. Elevate your personal growth. Develop gratitude daily. Overcome the need for validation. Master yourself daily. You see, we have already talked about this before. Like I said, I want to encourage you to go to the last month, go to my YouTube, and you're going to get all the message. So today, I want to pick up from where we started. So we are launching the part 2. Now, I want to launch this part 2 by showing you something. I like pictures. You know, pictures are very, very powerful. I want to show you this picture now. I want everybody to look at this picture. Look at this picture very, very carefully. Because I want you to know that your story still has powerful chapters ahead. Your current circumstances is only a chapter, it's not the whole book. I want to start with this to encourage somebody. Your story still has powerful chapters ahead. You may be in your chapter 1 now. You see, I want you to know that every chapter made you stronger. Every chapter is an opportunity to learn new lessons. Your story still has powerful chapters ahead. I want to put that in the chat, please. I want to put that in the chat. I want to make it personal and just write, my story still has powerful chapters ahead. I mean it. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I want to put it in the chat. Make it personal that my story still has. Now, I'm not saying your story still has chapters ahead. I said powerful chapters. The emphasis there is powerful chapters because the reason is this. I don't know where you are currently. You may be looking at somebody whose story is in chapter 20. Maybe you are in chapter 1 or chapter 2 and you are feeling bad about yourself. And you start comparing them to you. Listen, that will not help. Stop comparing your current chapter to someone else's chapter. And it's so easy. And thank you all so much. And thank you all for doing that. I can see people already doing that. Yeah, my story still has powerful chapters ahead. Listen to me. This is going to encourage you. I remember hearing a story by Dr. John Maxwell. He said many years ago, as a young leader, he attended a meeting. I mean, he said these are top leaders doing great thing. And he was still coming up in his leadership. And it was so hard. It was so kind of like, it was so inspired by what these leaders are doing. He said he was just watching them. But he didn't feel bad about himself. He understands that one of the laws of leadership, which he wrote at that time, he has not written that book. There's something called the law of the process. Now, watch this. If you rush the process, you are going to ruin the product. If you rush the process, you are going to ruin the product. I remember this when I finished my diploma in a community college, then in Nigeria. They call it Polytechnic. So I was doing my project, which is producing lemon jam. And after I've put the lemon in the autoclave, there's a way you sterilize it. I worked so hard on this project. I've labored so hard. Instead of me to trust the process, I wanted it to finish so early. What I'm supposed to do is I just brought the lemon jam. It's in a jar. It's in a glass jar. I just brought it out of the autoclave. I was just meant to allow it to cool down by itself. Just to put it down, to allow it to cool. I've done all the hard work. Guess what I did? I wasn't patient. I wanted to rush the process. I wanted to finish. In my stupidity then, this is many years ago. This is like 1990, this is 1994, 1995 or so. So I put the water, I put the glass on, I now run the water on it so that it will cool so fast. Guess what? The glass just busted and broke. And at that time, my coordinator just walked by it and he saw it. He said, "You are doing it again." It was so painful. I said, "Oh, I should have been patient. I should have been patient." And that was And this is December. Many people have gone home. I'm still around doing the project. Oh, it now really touched me. Okay, this is December 1994. That means I have to now come over again the following new year to do this project. It wasn't funny. Oh, that all through that day, it was really painful. So that's the thing I want to tell you about the process. So Dr. John Maxwell saw himself with these great leaders, but he knew that leadership is not developed in a day, it is developed daily. So is every one of us. Our life is like a whole book. So your current circumstances is not the whole book, it's just one of your chapters. So I wanted to know that. There are so many powerful chapters ahead. When you understand this, it's going to give you the courage to celebrate every process, every progress you are making. You will be free from this prison of comparison. And that's what I want. The first thing I want you to know that I want to tell you that your story still has powerful chapters ahead. I shared this when I was sending the invitation that comparison destroys individuality. Now, look at these two pencils. One is a colored pencil, and one is one is an ordinary pencil. One is colored pencil. And one of the ordinary pencil said, "Oh, I'm not that colorful." But look at what the crayon is saying. "I'm not that sharp." And can you see and this is what is playing out in so many lives. Someone that is a crayon that is meant to produce different colors, they are saying themselves that they are not sharp. A crayon doesn't have to be sharp. A crayon just have to be a crayon. And that's the beauty. It just have to be a crayon. And if you just keep on undermining yourself and keep on looking down on who you are. Look at the pencil. A pencil doesn't have to be a colored pencil. A pencil just have to be the best version of itself. And that is what comparison does. It destroys your individuality. I want to put it in the chat that I will celebrate my individuality. Please, I want you to put in the chat because very, very important. That is what makes you unique. Your individuality. Has somebody else ever told you before that, why are you so different? Listen, you are different. That's the truth. You don't have to be like others. Your reward is in your difference. You see, I will celebrate my individuality. It's so important. All these are strong affirmation. You have to celebrate your individuality. No matter where you go, you don't have to be like others. There was a time I was doing I was doing a class and I shared this with people. I like pictures. I wish I could bring that picture to this class now. I have it in my system. And that picture said, now, I want to write this word. I want to show you something. What I'm using right now is what we call reframing. Yeah, I want to reframe this word. Okay, let me put it in the chat. I want to put this word in the chat now. Now, this word, I'm putting it in the chat, is said, and this word says, no one like you. Now, there are two ways in which you can see that word. I just put it in the chat now. Now, there are two ways to see that word. The word says, no one like you. Now, if you look at the word, you can see the word as, oh, no one like me. No one like me. No one like me. But look at it. The second way to look at it is, there is no one like you. Can you see what I just did? And I want you to know that there is no one like you. If you're a person of faith, one of the songs that people sing, that we sing to God, that there is no one like you. But do you know that God looks at you too and said, there is no one like you, Dr. Lisa. There's no one like you, Dr. Collins. There's no one like you, Miss Katrina. There's no one like you, Miss Latoya. There's no one like you, Miss Reneka. There's no one like you, Miss Mildred. There's no one like you, Grace. So it's very, very important. So instead of thinking, oh, no one like me, no one like you. There's no one like you. You are unique. You are unique. Now, today I want to share a story with you. Now, this story is so important. This is a true story. This is a trending story. I've been looking at this story for a long time. And the reason why this story is very important is this. Because I want to begin to, as I share this story with you, I want to begin to think about your own situation. Because one of the laws of communication is the law of storytelling. And the law of storytelling says people see themselves in stories. So I want to start seeing yourself in these true stories I'm about to share. Because this is what this second part is all about. This second part, like I said, I want to focus on this. So I want to share the story of this guy. I don't know how many of you follow basketball. This person I'm showing you is the current MVP of the NBA 2026 NBA Finals. His name is Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson, in case you didn't know, just led the New York Knicks to win the 2026 NBA Finals. After 53 years, the club has won it. The last time the club won it, New York is the largest city on earth. Just think about it. In the world, New York is one of the largest cities in the world. At least in the United States, I'm sure of that. It's the largest city in the United States. And New York is so popular. Everybody knows New York City. And New York Knicks, they are just like the heart of New York City. And for a long time, New York City, they really want to be champions in the basketball. But it just happened after 53 years. And the person that won, the captain that led them to make it possible, in fact, in the finals against Spurs, he scored 45 points. And they won 94-90. I remember I was in New York when they were playing the game, the game 4. Nobody even thought that they would win. They came from behind to win the game. Many times they always come from behind to win the game. The Spurs were the favorites because the Spurs has a player called Victor Wembanyama. They call him Wemby. Wemby is very tall. Wemby is 7 foot 4 inches. 7'4". But guess what? Jalen Brunson is just 6'2". In fact, he's one of the shortest person in NBA. If you have seen people that play basketball, normally they're always tall. And that's been the story of Jalen Brunson. He has always been underestimated. In fact, this guy has been a winner all his life. If you look at his story, how he started, the father, Rick Brunson, was a basketball player. And the father has been coaching him since he was a little kid. He played in high school. His high school won the championship. He went to college, Villanova, that is just 25 drives from where I live now. He won 2 championships in 2016 and in 2018. In fact, in 2018 that he won, he got the National Basketball Player of the Year. in the whole United States. Now, you will have thought that with all this achievement, they will give him respect, but they never did. They still underestimated him. All the scouts, because at that time, he was thinking about declaring for NBA to go and play professional basketball in the NBA. They were not, and I mean, for someone that had been the national basketball player, it should have been the number one pick, but it was not. It was not even in the first round. Because all the scouts report about him that he's too slow, he's not athletic, he's not that productive. I mean, they were comparing him because he doesn't look like the normal basketball person that is tall, that is all the things, statistics that they were looking for. But there's a winner in him. Now, that might be someone here that it doesn't matter how much you have accomplished. People around you, they are blind to your potential. They keep on undermining you. It doesn't matter what you've done. They keep on looking down on your achievement. But one thing I saw about Jalen Brunson as I study his stories, he never compared himself with others. Now, by the time four of them from Villanova that won the championship, he was a junior then. Junior means he has done 3 years in the university. So he chose not to go for the fourth year. He just entered the NBA. Out of four of them that came from Villanova, he was the one that was drafted last. You know what that means? The lower you are on the draft, the lower the money you're gonna get. And it was picked at the second round, number 33. Can you imagine number 33? Someone that became the National Basket Player of the Year. I mean, that got such achievement in college, but still they bypassed him. Have you been bypassed before in your place of work? Have you ever been bypassed before? You knew very well that you are supposed to get that promotion, but because you don't look like somebody that they are looking at, and this has happened to so many people before. I remember Les Brown sharing his story. Les Brown said when he was working for Sears, they told them that, oh, as a salesman, whoever makes so sales is going to be the supervisor. And he said he did. He was able to make all the numbers. He was able to check all the boxes. But guess what? The only reason why he was denied of that position is because of the color of his skin. And the manager said, Les, sorry, I know you got everything right, everything that we said, but we just can't make you the supervisor because, your white colleague will be feeling bad. But Les Brown said, what's the problem? This is what the rule says. It says out of all of them, it was like a raisin. A raisin is a dark, a dark fruit, a dried dark fruit. In the milk, it was the only black person. So they refused to make him the supervisor. And that's what Jalen Brunson was facing. Because it doesn't look like the regular picture of a superstar. They bypassed him. But still, Jalen Brunson wasn't moved. He wasn't moved by that. So they drafted him to Dallas Mavericks. The main star in Dallas Mavericks then is Luka Doncic. They got him from Czech Republic, and he came in. He was their star, and Luka is really good. If you have seen Luka play, Luka is now playing for Lakers. If you have seen Luka before, that was their star. So Jalen just started with. He played 4 years for the Dallas Mavericks. It was more like a third or second row player, and most of the time he's always on the bench. But something happened while he was playing for Dallas Mavericks. Luka got hot, and they brought a new coach, Jason Kidd. And that new coach began to look at Jalen Brunson differently. Because all this while, Jalen Brunson wasn't comparing himself, he was working on himself. He was embracing the new competition. He wanted to be the best version of himself. He wasn't listening to what people are saying that he's too small, he's not enough, he's not athletic, he's not productive, he's not fast. He wasn't listening to what the naysayers were saying about him. He was focused on the new competition, comparing himself with who he is today and who he used to be. And Jalen Brunson was embracing self-improvement. And that's what he was doing. He was embracing self-improvement. Now, there's something that the father told him why he was coming up, why the father was coaching him, as a young boy coming up. The father gave him 6 words. And I want to give you that 6 words. Now, it's a 6-word mantra that a coach, in fact, his current coach right now, at that time, the current coach was coaching the father, and the current coach gave the father that 6 word. I don't want to give you that 6 word that really helped Jalen Brunson to embrace the new competition. And this is the 6 words. There is no shortcuts to this. There is no shortcut to this. Let me put it in the chat so that you all can get it. There is no shortcut to this. I want you to realize that there is no shortcut to the top. There is no shortcut to this. There is no shortcut to this. If you are going somewhere, if you want to go to somewhere great, there is no shortcut to this. I want to be able to tell yourself, anytime you want to take a shortcut, always tell yourself, there is no shortcut to this. That really entered into Jalen's mind. In fact, he wrote it. He wrote it down on his mirror. He looked at it every day. It became his personal creed. I want this to become your personal creed. Because the thing is this. At times, we like to take shortcuts, especially gifted people. But taking shortcuts will not be a good payoff in the long run. Significance is not for those who take shortcuts. So that was one of the things that he learned in the process. So he began to do the hard work. You see, when you take shortcuts, you will not do the hard work. I want to tell you, leadership is so boring. There are things I do every day. I have to do it. It doesn't matter where I travel, where I go. There are books I have to read every day. There is no shortcut to this. There is no shortcut to the top. That was what Jalen Brunson learned. So Jalen Brunson began to develop himself. Like I said, Luka Doncic was the star player in Dallas Mavericks at that time. So one time he became injured. And at that time they were playing playoff. And they were about to play Utah's basketball team. And that was when everybody see the star in Jalen Brunson begin to come alive. Nobody thought they're going to win because their star player was injured. That is when people now see the work that Jalen Brunson has been putting in the secret. That work began to come alive. And that's when everybody now saw that, wow, this person that was underestimated was just like, and they were able to win the series. And they even went into the Western Conference Championship. And then that's when Luka came back. Now, as soon as people begin to see his improvement, but still, the Dallas Mavericks, they still believe in him. They didn't believe in him enough. But guess what happened? The New York Knicks have seen the star they were looking for, and they were able to sign up Jalen Brunson in July 2022. And they were able to sign him up to their franchise. But guess what? As soon as the New York Knicks sign up Jalen Brunson, Oh, all hell was let loose. Comparison started again. All the experts, they begin to say, oh, the New York Knicks, they've done, because they signed him up for 104 million for 4 years contract. The Dallas Mavericks, they want to give him 55 million, but the father, which is also a coach, said no, they're not going to take that. But the New York Knicks, they were able to put 104 million on him. And everybody said, oh, that's not a smart decision, that Jalen Brunson is not like Kevin Durant. Now, guess what? The comparison started again. I want to tell you something. As long as you live, people will always compare you to others. There's nothing you can do about it. You see, you need to know that there's no, see, the only thing you can do about comparison is to embrace the new competition. The only way to gain freedom from the prison of comparison is to embrace, and that is what I want to focus on today. How do you embrace this new competition? Because last month we focused on how to be free from that prison of comparison. We saw the hidden cost of comparison. But today I want to show you how you can fully embrace this new competition. Because that's what Jalen Brunson said. And I'm using Jalen Brunson. Even if you don't like basketball, it's trending. It's in the news. You can get as much as him because, like I said, New York is one of the popular cities in the world. And his news is really inspiring a lot of people because he broke all the books. It doesn't look like the regular superstar in size, in height. And that's what happened. When New York Knicks signed him up, oh, they begin to say, oh, if New York Knicks really want to win, they need to get a bigger point guard. They need to get someone that is quicker, faster. And they were comparing him to all manner of stars. But there was even somebody called Becky Hammond. Becky Hammond happened to be a star WNBA. She's a female. So she was saying that there's no way the New York Knicks can win with Jalen Brunson. He said because he's not a 1A dude. You know what I mean by that? Someone that is star enough, a superstar enough to lead them to win. But I want to look at something that happened. Because Jalen Brunson was focusing on the new competition, which is self-improvement. How he can become a better version of himself. And that's what he did. So without wasting time, I want to show you, I want to give you the secret sauce on how you can fully embrace. I want to make this thing so practical. Listen, I don't like theory. I'm not a philosopher, I'm a practitioner. So I want to show you how can you fully embrace this new competition. And even though I'm talking about Jalen Brunson, listen, this can be applied to anyone. And one thing I like about Jalen Brunson is this. He always pray before any game. And he's not ashamed of it. If you have seen him before any game, he's always praying. And I am not surprised how God has really honored him. Now, here is the secret sauce. I want to give you the secret sauce right now. And this acronym I want to give you is called P.O.T.E.N.T.I.A.L. I want to share this acronym P.O.T.E.N.T.I.A.L. This is the new competition strategy for becoming the best version of yourself. That is what Jalen Brunson did. That is what he did. Because the basketball world was obsessed with comparing him. They compared his height. They compared his athleticism. They compared his draft position. They compared him to players who are bigger, stronger, faster, and more physically gifted. But while others were focused on comparison, Jalen Brunson was focused on potential. And that is the difference between ordinary people and extraordinary people. Ordinary people focus on who others are. Extraordinary people focus on who they can become. I want you to know that. The difference between the extraordinary and the ordinary people is ordinary people compare themselves with others. But extraordinary people, they compare themselves with who they can be. There's an Olympian. I was doing some research yesterday. This Olympian, his name is Geoffrey Stephen Gabarino. He's a former world record holder in swimming. Look at what he said. He said the real contest is always between what you have done and what you are capable of doing. The real contest is between what you have done and what you are capable of doing. I want to think about for a second, what have you done before? I want to start thinking about what you have done before. Just think about what you have done in a minute. What you have done, what you have accomplished so far, up to this height. Now, start thinking about what you are capable of. Because that's the real contest. Because the real contest is not between you and others. Most of the time, we want to compare. I mean, listen, it is easy to compare because that is what is easy to do. It is easy to compare yourself with others. But let me tell you something. That is not what you need. The real contest is comparing who you are today with who you can be tomorrow. It's so important for you to get that. The more you understand this, the more you begin to operate on what we call your personal best. Your personal best. Your personal best is not there's a reason it's called personal best. It has nothing to do with anybody else. It has everything to do with your potential, your personal best. And that is what I want us to focus on. So that's why I'm giving you the secret sauce now. So let me give you the acronym again. So we want to focus on this acronym now, potential. So we'll take it one by one. Like I said, extraordinary people focus on who they can become. So the new competition is captured in one word, potential. So this is the strategy we're going to look at. Potential. Comparison asks you one question. How do I measure up to them? That's what comparison asks you. But potential asks, how much of me is still undiscovered? Now, whenever you hear the word potential means untapped power. Untapped power. That's something I want to think about it. Your potential, untapped power, unused power. See, and that's why I want you to know that you have so much potential in you, so much power that you are yet to tap to. Now, case in point, I wrote my first book in the year 2000. That was specifically November 2000. I wrote my second book 2003. For 20 years, I never wrote a book. I never wrote a single book all those years. I knew I have a calling to write book. But after those two books, I was stuck for 20 years, not 20 months, 20 years. But something happened to me 3 years ago. I made a commitment. And this happened when I began to learn about the 4 zones in life. There are 4 zones in life because before we get into this acronym potential, I want to really understand these life zones. There are 4 life zones in life. You need to understand how these zones operate. Because that was where my turning point happened in 2023. Because I was about to clock 50. And I began to reflect on these 4 life zones. So the 4 life zones are, number 1, the coasting zone. Number 2, the comfort zone. Number 3, the challenge zone. Number 4, the creative zone. Those are the 4 life zones. Now, let me break those zones down and let me show you what it's all about. Now, the first zone, like I said, is the coasting zone. Now, this coasting zone is where you do less than what you've always done. That's what happened in the coasting zone. That is a zone where you do less than what you've always done. So, case in point, let's say last year, 2025, you used to read 1 book in a month. Now, you are now reading 1 book in 6 months. You are coasting. You are already coasting. That's what happened in the coasting zone. You are doing less than what you've always done. That's the coasting zone. Now, the second zone is what we call the comfort zone. Now, in this comfort zone is where you do what you've always done. Same old, same old. Nothing new, no new challenge, no new frontier. It's the same old thing, the same old stuff. There's no any effort to attempt anything new. And so many people are living in this comfort zone. And the painful thing about comfort zone is there's no growth in the comfort zone. There's no growth in the coastal zone too. Both of them are no growth zone. But I have good news for you. There's a third zone. The third zone is what we call the challenge zone. Now, this challenge zone is a zone in which you start attempting and doing what you've not done before. This is where growth lives. Growth does not live in the comfort zone. It lives outside of the comfort zone. So the challenge zone is where you start doing what you've not done before. You start attempting what you've not attempted before. That's your challenge zone. That is, anytime you're in your challenge zone, this is how you will know. You feel discomfort. You feel discomfort. And I want to tell you something. Discomfort is a sign of growth. Discomfort is a sign of growth. Growth does not happen in a comfort zone. And that's why we need to really understand that change is needed when we don't feel it's needed. We have to leaders knows how to create change. How to create change. And to create change is to create growth. You have to push yourself out of that comfort zone. The last zone is what we call the creative zone. Now, this creative zone is not all about doing, it's all about thinking. It's a zone where you begin to think what you have not thought before. That's when you begin to think fresh thought that you've not thought before. Now, watch this. So that means the challenge zone and the creative zone is what we call the potential zone or growth zone. Another word for it is growth zone or potential zone. I mean, this challenge and creative zone. And that is where, because the reason why we call it potential zone is that is where you have the chance of reaching your potential. That is the only place. You can't reach your potential when you are in the comfort zone. You can't. You have to go out. Now, when you go out of the comfort zone, there's a law at work. It's the law of the rubber band. The law of the rubber band is so important. So we are all like the rubber band. We are only useful when we are being stretched. You see, a lot of people, they see stretching as stress. They are not the same. You see, stress happens when you are doing something that is not in line with your purpose. But when you are doing something in line with your purpose, you feel stressed, not stress. I've done training, all five training back to back. I wasn't stressed. I was stressed, but not stressed. Because everything I do is in line with my purpose. I can train all day. I can speak all day. It's in line with my purpose. The same thing, when you find what you are born to do, you come alive. In fact, anytime I don't have any new challenge, oh, I don't like it. Because it takes me back to my comfort zone. So that's what I decided to do in 2023. I choose to leave my comfort zone. For 20 years, I've not written a book. And I came up with a decision that this year, 2023, I'm going to write 10 books. And guess what? I wasn't saying it in my room. I was saying it everywhere. And everybody was listening to me. Because I wanted to get out of my comfort zone. But at the end of that year, I was able to write 5 books. I mean, that was better than someone that didn't write 1 book in 20 years. So the following year, I pick up from where I left. I wrote 4 new books in 2024 and published it. And last year, I was able to write the 10th book. So that was 10 new books in less than 2 years for someone that have not written book for 20 years. See, I'm explaining to you how potential work. So as I speak with you now, I have 6 new books I'm working on. So one of those books is what I'm teaching you on now. I'm already teaching you on that new book. It's a 20-chapter book. I've already started it. So one of the 6 books is already completed. All I just want to add is the story. I already have the book. It's a book on quotes. And some of these, the 4 remaining books, I already have content on them. I've been working on that book all this year. Now, what I want to show you right now is, as we go into this potential acronym, because this is what the new competition is all about, is embracing this strategy. And that's what Jalen Brunson did. While everybody was comparing it, in fact, when Jalen Brunson joined the New York Knicks, in his 4th season, all this while, he was able to get them to the semi-final for the East Conference in his 4th season, which was 2022 to 2023. In his 2nd season, which is 2023 to 2024, he was able to get them to the finals of the Eastern Conference. And he did the same thing in the 3rd season, 2024 to 2025. But now in the 4th season, which is 2025 to 2026, they didn't just win the Eastern Conference finals, they won the NBA finals. But in between that, since 2022, when he got to the New York Knicks, July, he has been embracing the new competition. While others were comparing him, he was embracing the competition to become the best version of himself. So this is the acronym that we want to focus on now. We're going to get deep into it. So we want to look at the potential acronym. So this is the new competition strategy. What I want to share with you is the new competition strategy for becoming the best version of yourself. And I want to encourage everyone listening to me right now. I want to encourage you to focus on this. Instead of busying yourself, comparing yourself with others, focus on becoming the best version of yourself. So how do we do that? So the first acronym is P. Prioritize growth daily. You have to prioritize growth daily. Your future is built one day at a time. Like I said, all this potential is prioritize growth daily. Own your unique journey. Trust the process. Elevate your standards. Never let others define you. Turn limitations into motivations. Invest in yourself consistently. Appreciate your progress. Live up to your potential. So let's take it one by one. You can use your phone to snap it. I want to take it up so that I can teach. So the first one we're going to start with is prioritize growth daily. So we're going to start with prioritize growth daily. You see, Growth only becomes a possibility when you make it your priority. I'll say it again. Growth can only become a possibility when you make it a priority. You see, personal growth is not automatic, it is intentional. So one time I was coaching a lady, and when I coach people, I push them, I challenge them, you know. And one of the things I challenge them to do is I challenge them to grow every day. And so I was challenging this lady. I told her, in between the last time I coached her to the next coaching session we are doing. So I was asking for accountability. Oh, she said, she couldn't do anything last week. That last week was busy. Da 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 da. She was giving me excuse why she's not growing. She couldn't do it. That they have a visitor uh, from Switzerland that came. Oh, she couldn't really do anything because of the visitor. And I told her, I said, listen to me, that's not an excuse. I said, it's not an excuse because you don't allow your visitor to determine your life. You can't say because you have a visitor from Switzerland, you couldn't eat, you couldn't bath. And that is how you have to see growth. Growth must be seen as a priority. My mentor, Dr. David Oyedepo, asked him, the New York Times asked him a question that, what do you do with your time? He said, I read and I think. So she's giving me an excuse because they have a visitor, and that's why she couldn't grow. She couldn't do what she was supposed to do for her personal growth. I have a friend one time, she was coming to visit with her children from Canada. She has told me before. But guess what? While she was here, they were just only here for one night. It didn't affect my personal growth. I was able to rearrange my time, and I still kept to my daily personal growth. But she was even telling me that she knows I do have a Saturday classes. I said, I just happened to be, that was an Easter holiday. I just happened not to have a class on that Saturday because I know she was coming. But that didn't compromise my own personal growth. So don't forget, your future is built one day at a time. So personal growth must be prioritized. You must prioritize your personal growth. Everywhere I'm traveling, I always carry my books. I traveled to Erie last week, Pennsylvania, to do a training for an organization. I took my book, all my 12 books, they were with me that I read every day. I carried them with me. I carried them with me. And I told them that same day I was doing the training, I told them, I said, I've read all my 12 books this morning. And they were looking at me, how do you do it? And I gave them the acronym, how I do it. But I don't used to be like that. There was a time I was lazy. I've shared this story with many of you before. That I will take a book, I won't read it. I will take a book, I won't read it. And the book will be with me for many days. In fact, many months. Until my Baba began to pay attention. And he will ask me, I used to read this book. I see him twice a month. I used to read this book. God was using that Baba to wake up my conscience. And thank God for that. At the point I want to keep him quiet, I took a new book. So the Baba was quiet, but my conscience came alive. So I began to research a best system for reading until I found one, which I created called SOA. And I've shared that with many of you before. The SOA acronym. You can go to my YouTube and check. There's a masterclass I did called Unlock Your Infinite Growth Potential. I shared that SOA acronym there. I don't have time to repeat it. I want to focus on what we have today. You can go and check Unlock Your Infinite Growth Potential. You will see the SOA acronym right there. You will see it under Learn to SOA. I share an acronym there called T.I.L, T-I-L-L. So under Learn to SOA, I share that. You can go and see how you can use that system for your reading. So with that system, I started with reading one book, then two, three, four. And currently, I'm reading 12 books per day. I don't finish all the books. My primary book, this is my primary book that I'm reading at the moment. It's called Wisdom Takes Walks by Ryan Holiday. It was a friend of mine that told me about this book. I didn't know about the book. And he called me. He's a dental surgeon in Illinois. He has his own practice. He called me. He said, I just saw this book. It's a very good book. I was wondering who I can share with. And I thought of you. I said, oh, that's good. He sent a picture to me and I bought the book. Now, I want to ask you a question because we're talking about prioritize growth daily. How big is your library? Or do you even have a library? See, I had something some time ago. Somebody said, Jim Rohn, he said, rich men has big library. Say, but poor people, they have big TV. And Jim Rohn said, owning a TV is not expensive. He said, watching it is what is expensive. You know, Jim Rohn said one time, a mentor came to somebody, he asked him, he said, what does that TV cost you? So the man said, oh, it's just $300. I said, no, that's not the question I'm asking you. So the question is, what is it costing you? The man now realized that, oh, because of this TV, it's costing him his time for reading. And I used to be like that before. I would sit down before TV, you know, I would watch TV, watch TV, watch TV. The time that I was meant to use for reading, I'll be watching TV. In fact, it will come to a time I will sleep off and the TV will start watching me. And I wasn't growing through that moment. I wasn't growing. For where we are living now, when we go here, we have a special favor. They left TV in all the rooms for us. And I told my wife, we don't need TV. We already have one. And my wife said it's free. I said, yes, we don't want it. I told them to take all the TV away. My wife was wondering, like, wow, it's free. I said, I don't want it. Because you need to know yourself. It's going to be a distraction to me. I'm not judging people that watch TV, but what I'm telling you is this. You have to prioritize growth daily. I know, in fact, when I was in medical school, I choose not to have a TV because I know it's going to be a distraction to me personally. One time, a friend of mine that he wants to leave his TV with me, he wants to go and do a 1 year's compulsory service. I said, no, don't leave it with me. Give it to somebody else. My brother then was, you normally come around in the week, say, oh, it's free. I said, I don't want it. So you need to understand your kryptonite, the thing that distracts you. I know it's going to be a distraction to me. So prioritize growth daily. Your growth have to be prioritized. Is very, very important. This is where it starts from. Jalen Brunson didn't become exemptional overnight. He improved daily. Every day he practiced. Every season, he keep on improving himself. He was using every setback as a comeback, every opportunity to grow. So you need to prioritize growth daily. It's so important. Now, instead of asking the question, who is ahead of me? The question that you should be asking is, how can I grow today? For instance, you are here today because I know you value growth. A lot of people receive this invitation. They are not here because that's not their priority. And it's okay. So that's the first place to begin, to become the best version of yourself, which is the new competition, because the new competition is all about becoming a better version of you than who you were yesterday. So you have to prioritize growth daily. You have to grow daily. So my question to you is, what books are you currently reading? Because one of the way we grow is to read. Reading is one of the way we grow. by reading and putting into practice what we read. So I wanted to encourage you. If you are the type of the person that the last time you read was when you have an exam, no. The real school of life is a self-taught. Self-taught. It's informal education. Great minds. Elon Musk is the richest man on earth now, the first trillionaire in history. He read rocket science by himself. He couldn't get a chief engineer for his company. He became the chief engineer. He had a background in physics and economics as a bachelor's in University of Pennsylvania, where I live. But still, he taught himself rocket science, and he was asking questions from experts to confirm what he read. That's how he built his company. SpaceX, that he just took to public, made him a trillionaire. He is already the richest man in the world, but with the SpaceX exploration, with people buying the IPO and all that, he became the first trillionaire in history. According to him, Elon Musk, he said he believed that college is more of a place to have fun or to learn how to do chores. He said, but real learning is not done in college, it's after college. So I want to challenge you, if you are here and you are not reading, I want to challenge you to start with one book. Start with one book. Start small. 1 page per day. Make the book obvious. That's the acronym I'm using, SOA. Make it obvious. All the books I'm reading, they are on my table as I speak with you. Make it obvious. Put the book where you can see it. Make it automatic. By pairing it with your habit of sleeping or eating, by pairing the book that, before lunch, I'm going to read 1 page of this book. Make it realistic by saying, I'm going to finish 7 pages in 1 week. That's realistic. That's how to read a book. So start, and whenever you read, think ACTS. Read to apply what you read. Read, C, to change something about your life. T, read to teach somebody something. And X, read to solve problem. So that is the motivation for reading. ACTS, act. ACTS. Read to apply what you are reading to your life. Read to change something about your life. Read to teach somebody something. And read to solve problem. Those things will keep you motivated to read every day. So let's go to the second alphabet. So the first one is prioritize growth daily. I spend so much time on that because that's very important. So the second one is own your unique journey. You have a unique journey. You have to own your journey. Your assignment is different because your design is different. You are designed for your assignment. So you have to own your unique journey. Now, listen to me. I was trained as a physician, and I have my very good friend, my sister, and my classmate here, Dr. Ayo Adenuga. She's here also on this call. And we went to medical school together. But listen, I'm no longer practicing medicine. And I don't envy any of my friends practicing medicine. I don't. You have to own your unique journey. I remember 2 years ago, I happened to be in Orlando, Florida, for the Maxwell Leadership Conference. I go twice a year. So I happened to meet one of our colleagues. He's now a professor in Vanderbilt University, Tennessee. So as soon as I saw that face, I knew that face somewhere. But when I saw his name tag, it didn't click. Because then, when we were in school, it did dental, just like it did BDS. It was a dental student then. So when it was school, the name we called him was different. So I was just saying, someone writing the name was Professor Henry. I was like, that name doesn't click. So he looked at me and said, he knows me. So I said, I know you somewhere. And immediately I just remember his name. And I said, Demola. Oh, he said, oh, that was you. Because he is a roommate to one of my associate pastor when I was in college then. So I know him very well. I go to their room. So I said, when I saw Henry, I didn't know it was. He said, well, that's what I use here in America. And guess what? I wasn't feeling inferior that, oh, look at it. I wasn't comparing myself. Oh, look at it now. He's a professor. No, I am a professor too in my own field. In fact, honorably, I gave him, I just wrote this book then, Live Life Big. I gave him one of my book. I autographed it. I gave it to him. And he replied me in a text message that, oh, your book was so good. I'm really enjoying the book. In fact, I'm not. It's been a while that I've chatted with him. But what I'm saying, I wasn't feeling. If you're, I want to give you to these two scriptures that will help you if you are a person of faith. So Job 12:3, Job 13:2, and that's in those two scriptures. He said, "I am not inferior to you. I am not." He repeated it. I am not inferior to you. I am not inferior to you. Was repeated in Job 12:3 and Job 13:2. You can see that scripture. That is, I just gave you the antidote for comparison. So I wasn't comparing myself with him. So on your unique journey, your assignment is different because your design is different. Jalen Brunson was built like many NBA superstars, yet he stopped trying to fit somebody else's mold. He embraced his own style, strength, and path. So stop comparing your timeline to someone else's timeline. The new competition question is, am I embracing my own journey? That's what you have to ask. I want to ask you, are you embracing your own journey? Stop looking down on yourself because of what somebody else has accomplished. You have to own your journey. You have to own it. You have to own it. So the next alphabet is T. Trust the process. Trust the process. Greatness is grown. It is not granted. Greatness is grown. It is not granted. I want you to trust the process. You see, you need to trust this new competition strategy. Becoming a better version of yourself is a process. It doesn't happen in a day. It happens daily. Many people quit because they don't see immediate results. You see, it is immediate. There are three kinds of levels. We have immediate, penultimate, and the ultimate. A lot of people are looking for immediate result. Oh, if nothing happens, I'm going to try something else. If nothing happens, I'm going to try something else. Listen to me. You need to trust the process. Jalen Brunson trusted the process. It was a second round pick for Dallas Mavericks. It was number 33. That was hurting for someone that was a national basket player of the year for the whole nation. All the people that he was on top of, they picked them before him because of his stature. They put him on a bench as a bench player. It was a role player. It was not even a starter. They were ignoring him on every stage that matters. Do not abandon the process because progress feels slow. Do not abandon the process because progress feels slow. There are so many people that they have discovered their path, but because it feels slow, they abandon it. They went for something else. I read Elon Musk's history, how much he suffered. In fact, there was a time he was almost going bankrupt. He doesn't have money. He was borrowing to pay his rent. It was very, very challenging for him. His first rocket launch failed. Second one failed. Third one failed. His team was almost giving up, and he told them, no, we have an opportunity. We still have one more to do. What if he has quitted? He put everything he has on the line. They knew that if that fourth rocket failed, that's the end of his empire. But it didn't fail. It was able to enter the orbit. The question to ask yourself is, am I trusting my development process? I want to trust the process. So let's go to the next alphabet. Elevate your standards. Elevate your standards. The person you become depends on the standards that you keep. The person you become depends on the standard you keep. The question is, what are your standards? If your standard is negotiable, it's not a standard. You have to elevate your standards. Jalen Brunson consistently elevates his game. You have to, now, this is how to elevate your standard. You have to be every day. You want to improve yourself. You want to improve yourself. You want to become daily a fresh, daily improvement. Jalen Brunson consistently elevated his game, not because others demanded it, because excellence demanded it. I want to tell you something. Excellence demands that you elevate your standards. I just did a training. I did Elevate Your Communication, season 1, 2, 3, and 4. I have done that training before in 2023. But guess what? When I was doing it this year, I elevated my standard. I bought new books on communication. I read 8 books on communication, something I've never done before. And I was learning something new, something fresh. In fact, one of the persons that came to my class for season 1, she hired me. She flew me to another city to come and do a training. I was paid $7,000 for 6 hours training. Now, to put things in the right context, where I used to work before I left in 2020, that was more than my 3 years salary, full time. And I got that in 6 hours, more than my 3-month salary. Because the person came to my classes in 1, oh, she got so much value. She said, no, what you are teaching, I want to come and teach my team. And I was there for 6 hours for $7,000. Elevate your standards. Elevate your standards. Elevate your standards. The next alphabet we want to look at is never let N. Never let others define you. We live in a world that people are trying to define you. People are trying to profile you. They're trying to define you. Your critics are not your creators. The opinion of anyone about you is not true. Somebody said, there's no measurement on heart that can measure human potential. Your potential is immeasurable. That's what they did to Jalen Brunson. They misunderstood him. Many people told Jalen Brunson that he could not become a superstar. Fortunately, he did not allow their opinions to become his identity. All the people, all the naysayers, they are now apologizing to him now. So there was one woman in her pride, Becky Hammond, that refused to apologize. They went to go and meet her. That, do you still stand by your statement? Yeah, you say, yes, I still stand by my statement. But he proved me wrong. Yes. In her arrogancy, she's still standing by her statement that said that they can't win with Jalen Brunson. And he proved that wrong. He never go back and forth with her. He proved them wrong. You can prove people wrong. There's so many people that they have a bad perspective about you. Don't debate with them. The only way, the only revenge is results. And that's what Jalen Brunson did. Stop allowing external opinions determine your internal confidence. The new competition question you need to ask yourself is, who am I becoming despite what others think? Who am I becoming despite what others think? So the next alphabet we want to look at is T. Turn limitations into motivation. Turn limitation into motivation. What others see as a weakness can become your advantage. What others see as a weakness in you can become your advantage. One of the speakers that we had in the Made for More this year was a very top woman in JP Morgan in New York. Because she was born in Nigeria, she was trained as a lawyer, and she came here And at the point, people begin to say, oh, she has accent. She has accent. She said until she realized that her accent was her asset. So that is when it changes her life. Your accent can be your asset. One time God told me that your accent does not determine your ascent. That means going up in life. I've been places before that all the people I'm speaking to, they are all white, and they listen to me because they are getting substance. Substance. Everybody is looking for substance. Everybody is looking for value. When you go to a doctor, you don't care if the doctor trained in Harvard or he trained in one college that was not known. What you care about is expertise. Can he do the work? Can he help you? That's what you care about. So the next alphabet you want to go is A. Appreciate your progress. Appreciate your progress. Appreciate your progress. Don't overlook how far you've come because you are focused on how far you have to go. Appreciate your progress. Every day, celebrate small wins. Appreciate your progress. Stop and smell the flower. We're not telling you to relax, but appreciate your progress. Many people miss the joy of growth because they only celebrate perfection. Appreciate your progress. Appreciate your progress is very important. Now watch this. Tomorrow will be June 21st. And it's the anniversary of the last book that I released, Leader, Lead Yourself. I'm going to celebrate it. It's been 1 year. The book came out. I'm going to celebrate it. The other time, someone sent me a very powerful feedback from the book, how the book really changed. This man is the head of an organization in Washington, North Carolina. And he said, I'll be buying copies for my young leaders. And guess what? He bought the copies from me. I autograph it and ship it to him. Appreciate your progress. Don't diminish your progress. Jalen Brunson celebrated his improvement. Every time, like I told you, since he joined the New York Knicks, the first season he joined them, it took them to the playoff, which they have never been in playoff for some time. They go to the Eastern Conference semifinals. The second year, while he was in New York Knicks, it took them to the Eastern Conference finals. Even though they didn't win, they still got to the finals. He repeated the same thing the third year. In the fourth year, they got to the Eastern Conference finals, they won, and they got to the NBA finals and they won. Watch this. He was celebrating every improvement. So you have to recognize your progress, celebrate your growth, honor the journey. The new competition question right here is, what progress can you celebrate today? What progress can you celebrate today? Always celebrate your progress. The next, which is the last alphabet we want to focus on, is L. Live up to your potential. Live up to your potential. Your greatest competition is the gap between who you are and who you can become. Your greatest competition is the gap between who you are and who you can become. This is the heart of the new competition. It is not comparing yourself with your colleague, your neighbor, your friend, your competitor. The real competition is the current version of you versus your future you. Every day, you need to ask yourself a question. Am I becoming the person I'm capable of becoming? The new competition question is, am I maximizing my God-given potential? Remember Jalen Brunson? The world was focusing on his height, his draft position, his limitation, his competition. Jalen Brunson was focusing on his potential. And that changed everything. Don't forget, the difference between comparison and potential is simple. Comparison asks the question, why am I not like them? Potential asks the question, how much better can I become? And that's the question I want you to begin to ask yourself. How much better can you become? How much better can you become? That's the question to ask yourself. It's a potential question. Remember, comparison creates insecurity. Potential creates growth. Comparison creates pressure. Potential creates progress. Comparison creates frustration. Potential creates fulfillment. Comparison creates prisons. Potential creates possibilities. The big idea is the new competition is not about becoming better than everyone else. It is about becoming better than yesterday's version of yourself. So every day, remember, potential, the acronym that we have talked about, prioritize growth daily, trust the process, elevate your standard, never let others define you, turn limitation into motivation, invest in yourself consistently, appreciate your progress, and live up to your potential. Because the greatest tragedy in life is not failing. The greatest tragedy is living beneath your potential because you spent your life comparing yourself to others. Don't forget, the new competition is not between you and others. It's between who you are now and who you are capable of becoming. We said turning limitation into motivation. Turning limitation into motivation. So I want to just encourage you, and that's why if you didn't capture this, you can see it again. And this is it. In case you just came, you can use your phone to take it. What we just looked at, the new competition strategy for becoming the best version of you. We have looked at the potential acronym, prioritize growth daily, own your journey, trust the process, elevate your standards, never let others define you, turn your limitation into motivation, invest in yourself consistently, appreciate your progress, live up to your potential. So I want to give you an opportunity to invest in yourself. I want to tell you something. You have an opportunity to invest in yourself. And if you like to invest in yourself, there's an opportunity coming for you. And I'll be starting a special mastermind. It's going to be for 4 Saturdays. This is coming up for 4 Saturdays in the month of July. July has 4 Saturdays, July 4, 11, 18, and 25. So this is going to be very powerful on how to elevate your leadership. It's going to be it's going to be based on one of my books, 4 Keys for Effective Leadership. I wrote the book 3 years ago, but I have grown. The book have not grown. So after writing the books, I've developed fresher content there are many keys for effective leadership, but this is an acronym called ESPN. And for those 4 weeks, we'll be breaking each down. And the acronym for 4 keys for effective leadership, ESPN. E is effective communication. That's E, effective communication. S is the strong values. And the S is strong values. You need to have strong values. The P is a powerful why. You need to have a powerful why. And the N is network nurturing. So each week we'll be breaking it down. And by the time you are done with this training, you will be more effective in your leadership. So if you want to join the class, I have a coupon for you today. Because you are here, I want to give you this coupon. So you can just click that link if you want to register. And for being here today, I'm putting the link in the chat. You can use that one at checkout. That will give you a 50% discount. I just put the link in the chat, and so that you can take advantage of it. But I want to tell you something. I believe this has helped you today. So let's. I'll give